Welcome to number 2 of Stir Crazy Arts Classes with Gerald Savine. Today we're going to paint the poppy in colour. I've redrawn it, ready to go. The colours, the pencil work is much darker than you need it to be. Make sure you keep it nice and light. But if you look across here, we can see what we're aiming to do. The nice little poppy painting, and I'll show you how to use the brushes and how to apply the paint. So away we go. Now to start off with, we've got 5 colours ready. We have cadmium red pale for the main colour, alizarin crimson for some shadow work, sap green, which is a lovely green, nice countryside green for the leaves, lemon yellow to give us some lighter colouring, and a bit of Payne's grey to add darkness to the green. Or you could use ultramarine blue instead if you haven't got the Payne's grey. So away we go. As you can see, I've already prepared the drawing. We're going to start with this first. I'm going to and I'm using a number 6 brush, which will give us. I already had some colour mixed up. Again, I've squeezed the colour, the red, out of the tube. Now here it's a particular way of painting. There's many ways of painting with watercolour, but the idea here is really to get you used to brushing the colour on, getting the feel of what you can do with watercolour paint. So again, don't get too flustered or anything, just because I am. But and again here I'm putting colour on. I'm being careful to work round underneath my pencil lines. Don't go round here at the moment. You'll see why in a moment. So I'm going to wash the brush out. I've got 2 water pots going, one for the red and one for the green. The 2 colours, they are opposite in the colour circle, and they will make one look a bit dirtier or darker than the other. We at the moment want to try and keep the colours fresh. And again here you can see I'm working from the leading edge of the colours I've put down on the paper. The brush is not too wet, so I'm going to wash the brush out again so that we're not carrying the colour through. And then I'm going to blend these 2 together to give a feeling as though there's a bit of shaping to the petal, a bit of curving in it. I'm not going to paint that one yet because we don't want the colours to blend one into the other. So I'm going to leave that next one, and then I'm going to put colour in the next one. Now again here, what you will learn is that how you apply the paint with the paintbrush helps to describe what's going on. In other words, here we're going to be going round because the petal is coming out. So I'm going to come up, thinning the colour down, washing it out. I'm imagining that the light is coming from the left, so it's darker down there. And again here, we're just sort of pushing the colour up from there. Don't go right back into there because you'll weaken the colour that's in the dark. Next one round, missing that one out, again here, shaping round like that. Wash the brush out, pull from the leading edge. Don't go back into the middle with your picking up the colour. Deal with one area at a time. Don't start mixing up, doing another one before you've got one area finished. This hopefully is fairly dry now, so I'm going to put some colour under here, following around. But you can see now, because we haven't followed the pencil line round with the dark colour, the strong colour, the shape of the petal still shows up as we thin the colour down. So here again, we're going to just pulling the colour down, pulling the colour up, washing the brush out, because otherwise it won't make any difference now. Unfortunately, there's a bit of water has gone and pulled the colour around. So it just shows you how watercolour can blend when it's damp. That's why we try not to, or leave a bit of space between Oops, let's not be careful here. We've got the middle piece there. Again here, painting round. We'll be as quick as we can. Wash the brush out. Again, and start to pull the colour up. I'm going to again see how I'm curving my brush strokes round to fit the shape of the petal. Oh, it's gone. It was still damp there. It's gone and bled right into the other side. So we were trying to avoid that. So I'm in a hurry to show you, because we are limited to time. You take your time. Make sure that the segments are dry before you do the one next to it. So unfortunately, one's having to work fairly quickly because of time limitation. Wash the brush out. Again, I'm not going to go right back into where the strong colour is. I'm pulling up on the leading edge, bringing them together like that. Now you'll notice that middle piece there. Oops, look at that. Mr. Savine will smack you over the wrist. That's light. Now that you'll notice that you've got quite a lot of red in the water itself when you've been washing your brush out. So you can then apply that through to there like that. Look at that. You see what happens when it's not quite dry? So this is why you have to be more patient than me, and you've got more time than I've got. Don't forget, you can always put the the presentation on the hold with YouTube. Now I'm going to put some lemon yellow in the palette. Just a little bit more. You can see I've already been playing around this. And I'm going to bring some of the sap green in with it. So I need a bit more there. Excuse me while I cough. Oh dear. I'm going to mix up the colour, the green, make sure it's all well mixed up together. I'm going to take some of this. Now again, important thing here is that you need to be careful when you're adding colour. Always add the darker colour to the lighter colour. You've got more control over how you're doing it. Now this is going to be the colour I'm going to run for the stem. Now again, I just brush off the excess. Perhaps you even wash the brush out altogether, and you can pick up a fresh amount of colour on the tip of the brush. Again, you've got more control then because you're limiting the amount of colour you've got. You can come down. You might notice that I've got my hand resting on the paper. This allows that it steadies your hand as you come round, and then you can follow the shape of the stem. Hopefully you've managed to get quite a good parallel line down for the stem. Again here, just continue pulling it down till we get down to the bottom. Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick up some of the green, solid green, and I'm just going to drop it in underneath where the leaves come onto the stem, just as though there's a bit of shadow going on there. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now then, again, we're going to treat individual leaves. Do a leaf at a time, or do a segment of a leaf at a time. Don't do the next one until you've got it finished. So start at the top, come part of the way round, add it at the top there. Okay, wash your brush out. Damp but not wet brush. Pull from the leading edge. Pull from the leading edge. Don't go back into the very tip where you put the strong colour in, and then blend the colours together. And you get this sort of feeling of the light catching in a curve of the leaf. And again down here the same again. But do one at a time, because if you don't, your colour will dry out. You won't be able to blend it round as I've shown you. So again here, I'm doing. You take your time. I mean, obviously, I say again that I'm having to do this quite quickly, but again here we're going to pull the colour. I'm not going back into there and there. I'm just working with the leading edge and then bring them together. And you can see how it thins down. You see, it's one of the wonders of, I always think of watercolour. You can make things lighter. Now then, it is unfortunately still a bit wet, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to put some sap green in here. I've already had some mixed up, but I'm just going to put in a bit of Payne's grey. Again, Payne's grey is a colour that changes other colours very, very quickly. It's a very good, quite a bluey grey. It's a peculiar colour in many ways, but it makes a nice alternative colour. Now I'm going to, again, hopefully this won't bleed. I'm going to paint colour in there. It looks quite dark, doesn't it, when you see it like that? But in fact there is quite a bit of greenness in there, and you'll see that hopefully in a minute when we again start pulling the colour around. It probably won't have the same effect if you're using ultramarine, but don't worry about that too much. So, and again here I'm going to then start pulling. Can you see how the green just begins to show up a little bit more as it comes round? And again here I'm going to wash the brush out and then bring the two together. Do the same again with this one. Be quite quick now, I'm afraid, because we're running out of time. But again, you've got plenty of time to do this, so don't panic like me. Be steady with your painting up to your lines. Make sure you've got some nice crisp lines as well, but again, don't make them heavy like I've done, because they tend to, once you get water on it, they will fix the pencil lines, so you won't be able to rub them out afterwards. So if you keep them thin to start off with. Now again, I'm going coming here and pulling the colour, again both ways. Bring them together and again that sort of highlighting effect. See how that's working? And again I'm going to put a little bit of this under here and just a little bit sort of here as well, again just to enhance the shadow. Now I will just put a bit of lemon yellow in the middle here on the stamen bit, and then a bit of green on here. Now you take your time. I'm having to rush this, but you hopefully will land up with something looking more like that. Okay, now if you can see it's darker there, what you can do is if you wash your brush out, the green out of your brush, if you pick up a little bit of the alizarin crimson, which are darker red, you can just tickle underneath when it's dry. You can get a bit of shadow then, can't you? See that, how that's sort of just taken down a bit. The colour's still a bit damp here, so it's killing the darkness of the alizarin crimson because it's mixing in together a bit more. But again, it just brings a little bit of strength and interest into the painting. Okay, so that's that. What I'd like to show you quickly is these are the lists of materials that I give to my art classes. If you're able to get them, you can get them online. There's a little note at the bottom about that. And it's a good mix to be working with. So hopefully I look forward to seeing you again when we do number 3. We'll be doing something totally different. There will be some painting involved, but anyway, we'll look forward to seeing you then. And hopefully we'll be doing 15-minute, 15-minute sessions on the Tuesday, and 2 15-minute sessions on a Friday. Okay, so thank you for staying with me and being patient, and I look forward to seeing you again. Okay, bye for now.